Howdy, darling. So this is going to be for all the zodiac signs. It does not matter what you are for your sun, moon, rising, or Venus. I'm just going to channel some type of tarot message to see what message needs to step forward to you. If you're seeing this video, then I'm assuming that there's something in here that is meant to find you. All right. So let's begin your tarot reading here today. See what's going to be happening. What message needed to come forward? The first card coming in here, Six of Pentacles. Now, when I hold this card for you, darling, I'm being shown like a crown and like you sitting on that crown. And coincidentally enough, we have the Hermit card coming in here after. So it's like you're sitting on this crown, Six of Pentacles. I see you putting in the work, Eight of Pentacles, Justice energy there. Two different scales cards coming out for you. The first message that seems to be coming out here is that I feel like for you, this is a time to be withdrawing. This is like a message of where there's like this sense of justice that you're craving with a situation. You might be having thoughts and at night with that Hermit energy, wondering just like, oh, when is this person going to get to their karma? It's this sense here of where there's this energy here, this frustration for you, where it's like you can't continue going forward until you see justice with something happening. Or maybe this has just been like a thought that's been happening as you've been progressing through life here. You might also have been finding this sense of where certain situations where you were feeling a little bit resentful because they were not giving to you what you were giving to them. I feel like that's been like a really big struggle for you. And so as you continue going forward in your path, while I see you doing good, you're just going in the up and up here, truly, right? So it's not the sense of you're feeling bitter or you're feeling resentful seeing other people grow because you're in a place of stagnation. I don't see you in a place of stagnation whatsoever. But I do see where it's like, it's this sense of where as you go throughout your day, there'll be points in time in your day where it's like maybe some heavy emotions come forward about some situation where you felt like you were taken advantage of or used in some way. This gives me like this sense of like, when I say used, I really actually feel like it is used truly, because then I'm being shown like used like financially, emotionally, for your knowledge as well. Yeah, because then that makes sense as to why I was being shown that crown for you, because it's like while you wear this crown, there's like a message that I want to say here. It's where your gifts are concerned, darling, where your gifts, where your beauty, where your talents, what it is that you provide are concerned. Be careful about making sure that the tables that you're being invited to are tables where you are being invited as a guest and not as the meal. I do get this weird sensation, darling, of where the best answer for you right now is to be a hermit and to not allow people to take advantage of you at this time, to not pay attention to justices or injustices coming to the forefront and putting a light on where someone is being shady. I feel like for you right now, it's important just to be about your work, be about your business here. The Hermit card and the Eight of Pentacles sharing this similar message here, where it's like, you mind your business, you continue in your craft here. And it's this sense of where your spiritual team, really, because this is like a message where I had nothing in mind about what was going to come forward. But there is this situation here where it's like justice is going to be handled, darling, with a situation. All you need to do is just be about yourself. And it's important at this time to understand what it is that you're working on, because I feel like there's this sense of where people want to take advantage of you in some way. They want to use you in some way here. And maybe you felt used in the past, and that's where you're feeling that injustice here. But let's continue on with this, because I feel like Spirit's trying to imply with something here, because let's delve deeper into this here. And I feel like this need to really clarify this in this card that came out and flipped around. Yeah, Emperor card. Like, here's the thing, like, and very fitting, knows the crown as well. Here's the thing, darling. I don't see you in this place of not being able to go forward. Like, I see you thriving in your own success, your own confidence. You're becoming more of who you were meant to be, being in this place of power here. But it's almost like as you just continue working on yourself and personally growing, you're reflecting on situations where people did injustices to you, and you're just like, well, wait a minute, like, now that I'm in this empowered place, I kind of want to put someone in their place. Page of Pentacles coming in the reverse. Why is this coming in? I have a couple ideas of why this could come in. Queen of Cups here. Okay, so here's the message, darling. Spirit's wanting you to be about your work right now because Spirit sees something in you. You guys are working on something right now currently where it's like, and it makes sense as to why I was getting like this implication of where being careful about like where you're being invited to, making sure you're not being used again here, is because I feel as if for you, like, right now you're caring about the injustices, or you're thinking about it anyways, and you're wanting to make sure that karma happens for a situation. Karma is going to happen for them, but right now you need to be focused in on your own personal karma, darling. All right, the best way that I can express this here is this sense of where you're going to be having so much good happening in your personal life that I'm not going to say your success becomes the karma for this other person here, because it's this, I do get like this impression here with that Page of Pentacles there and the Queen of Cups, because the Page of Pentacles was in the reverse. It's this sense of where someone else losing sight of their goals, their ambitions, because they're paying attention to you being that emperor. All right, and so there's this very specific message here, darling, where it's just like, be about your own stuff. All right, you the only way that you can handle this karma at this time from that's in your control is by focusing in on giving this person, whatever injustice that happened, something to talk about, because they are watching. You know, I do get that distinct impression of where it's like, yes, they might be a passing thought to you, but like you're just as relevant to them, if not more, in their thoughts as well. So it's this sense of where it's like there's going to be more that happens than just, you know, that corny message where it's just like, oh, justice is going to happen. Funnily enough, we have the justice card right here too, where it's like justice is going to happen. You revenge, the best way to have revenge is to be successful, right? Well, yes, it's valid here, but it's like Spirit's like, don't waste time on doing cord cuttings. Don't waste time. Well, not cord cuttings. Don't waste time on doing hexes or curses or anything of that manner. Use any type of magic or energy that you have, because again, you're sitting in this crown here, right? Think about your energy as like a resource. If you're doing a curse just to give justice to a situation, right, because you're just like, hey, they took advantage of me, they used me, we'll delve deeper into like where this resentment stems from them in a moment here, right? And so it's like, view yourself as this emperor, darling, where it's just like your energy is a currency. So if you're obsessed about trying to get justice with a situation where you felt taken advantage of, it's like in a way like giving money, giving resource to that situation where you could instead further feed it to your own objectives, feed it towards your own craft here, because Spirit is giving this strong implication here where you don't want to have your energy taken advantage of. And I feel as if that's how people will take advantage of your energy. Not the sense of where anyone that you invite in your space that you have to be aware of, but it's more so not allowing people to not allowing someone winning by allowing them to take up space in your head. Don't worry about getting justice handled, because they're going to have the karma handled. That's what Spirit's saying. It's like their karma is going to be handled. The only thing that you can add to this karma is by being successful, because this is definitely like not a corny message where it's like you are the karma, you are the example. Like, no, there's definitely some type of lingering thing that's coming here for them. Knight of Pentacles. So it's slow coming, this justice for that situation. All right, but you can't increase the pace of that karma, right? You can't push the Knight of Pentacles along quicker than that horse and that person is ready to do that, right? And so it's like you have to trust the process here. Don't waste your time, don't waste your resources on that when you could be feeding towards your own objectives that I see really paying off greatly for you. Let's get some clarity on this situation with this other energy here. Chariot card coming in here, the Moon, as well as the World card coming in. All right. Temperance energy in the back of the deck. All right, so a lot of major arcana is coming out. Actually, we got all major arcana for them, darling. All right, so this is a really interesting message. For one, as a tarot reader, when you see a bunch of major arcana cards in a tarot reading, you know someone's going through a major transition. All right, and so how I see this person's karma really going down here, first and foremost, you have all these cards here. It's major. They're definitely going through like I don't want to say tower moment, but there's just like their life is extremely chaotic currently. Now we have this world card with the moon and the chariot in the reverse. You're not going to be like, part of the reason why you might be feeling frustrated about the lack of justice in a situation is because really, from their point of view, is they're doing a really good job. Well, I don't want to say they're doing a really good job of it, but it's under this moon guise where it's just like you're not aware about it, right? It's going on beneath the surface here. The world card coming in, this is the sense of where it's like I feel like they are going through some type of major loss. The world card refers to the final card in the major arcana, the final storyline before you begin something new. So there is this sense here where it's like they either lost something, like something came into completion here that they're trying to handle. Now this chariot card came into the reverse for them. This is the reason why I'm seeing this energy. I'm like not optimistic about their situation here, is because this chariot was in the reverse. I see them backtracking. I see them feeling stuck, feeling stagnant there, right? They're not going forward in life. They're not progressing in life. You know, if these cards were all in the upright, then this would be a fabulous reading. Fabulous. You'd be like, okay, they're completing a cycle and just continue going forth into the unknown, charging into something beautiful. But that's not the case here. This is like a slow, like, and you'll notice, like, even with their energy associated with it, like the karma, like, that we're referring to as that Knight of Pentacles, like it's that slow moving energy. There's nothing quick in their life going on. They feel extremely stuck here, which would then explain this temperance energy, darling, because this temperance energy, this is the example where it's like on their side of things, they are kind of like trying to make ends meet, but they're still at the same time paying attention to what you're doing. It's like it's like while their life is going downhill, darling, right? Their only grace, or the only way of like what keeps them going in a way, is like being hopeful for something to happen in your life. So it's almost like this mirrored way of what's going on in both y'all's lives here, where it's like both y'all are waiting for the other person to have something fall down. But the only difference here is, darling, is that they're going through those transformations, like those changes that are not getting them anywhere, right? They're feeling stagnant. Whereas we started out your energy, darling, having nothing but things elevating, while you might be in that place of like they might be a passing thought for a moment. During those moments where they're a passing thought, you get back into doing your work. You get back into doing your own personal development. You're growing. You're shining your crown, right? And while they are busy just staying stagnant as well. So y'all are mirrored in that way, and it's just very human, right? We're looking at very human reactions here, you know. There's no shame in it. Like, it's whether you want to admit it or not, you know, this is just very human. So that's why, in a way, it's where Spirits is like, don't be concerned about their karma, darling. Like, it's under that moon energy, so you're not going to be aware about it. This is not stuff that you talk about openly, right? It's not stuff that they talk about openly or showcase openly. So it's this, you're not going to be privy to that unless something dramatic happens, right? So do you understand what I'm trying to say here? This is not like a message where it's just like, you are their karma, you know, like you can't add to anything of what's going on here. They're already in stagnation, darling. So the only thing you can do is to not be mirroring them and just continue focusing more energy onto your stuff here. The only reason why they're obsessively looking at paying attention to what you're doing as well is not from a place of like whatever happened that you felt taken advantage of from them, right? From their point of view, they just, you know, I mean, I don't know what happened here for them to be thinking the way that they did here, but it's like they have nothing good going on in their life, so they're trying to find any way possible to be optimistic there, right? To be in denial. Hanged man in the reverse. We're gonna move on from this energy here. Like again, but we have the hanged man in the reverse, chariot card in the right here in the back of the deck energy here. Like they are so refusal, like when it comes to association with you, darling, like I'm not gonna say like until they come to terms with like what they did to you or whatever the injustice was, that things are not gonna go moving forward. But I see from their point of view, or lack of point of view, is like they're so unwilling to admit where they did something wrong, where they have to self-improve, that I wouldn't even be surprised if they're going to try to blame you for what's going on in their life, because it feels as if they're not able to take accountability for why this chariot is dead stopped in its tracks here. Because the reality is for them here, it's like this chariot could go forward at any time. Truly, like they end up like this chariot could go forward at any time, but it's because of their obsession with having like that lack of a change of view, not willing to see things from beyond themselves, that they can't get this chariot moving forward. They can't move on. So it is just that they are really like when I say stagnant, darling, they are just extremely stagnant with where they are at in life. And so leave that, have that to be your satisfaction as you continue focusing on your stuff. Well, yes, they're a passing thought, and they might have been growing in recent days, be like now that you're feeling much better about yourself and digesting things, you're just like, wait a minute, like now that I'm like able to brush myself off and that happened and I'm able to move on with my life here, let me go back and make sure some justice happens, right? Don't worry about it. Knight of Pentacles energy, this is just the beginning for them. You know, I feel like for their life here, until they're willing to change, stop being so afraid of taking accountability, they're going to continue in that pattern. And it's just the beginning. It's just going to get worse for them. So let's see. Anything else for your energy, darling, in specific here? You know, this is going to be really a tarot reading for someone that just wants to be extremely honest with themselves. I can already predict that on some level that people might be reacting to this and not wanting to admit that someone might be a passing thought that they don't like, and wanting to, you know, I mean, it's just very human, right? Again, I want to really just stress that it's just like we're just very human emotions that we're looking at here. So hopefully this just gives you some clarity, or a sense of direction rather. So the final cards for you, darling, you have the Moon, the Five of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords here, and the Queen of Cups. All right. And so I feel like in the coming days for you, you need to really, part of the reason why they are popping up in your head is because of like whatever trauma or just whatever happened in that previous situation that kind of triggered you or gave you a sense of doubt or what have you. Five of Pentacles energy. I feel like this is what's coming up from the surface here that you need to unpack and feel, you know, that's why they're popping up in your mind, because, and maybe this will help the healing process to just understand that behind closed doors, because I don't even feel like there's nothing flamboyant about what's going on in their life currently either, but it's like behind closed doors, especially, like nothing's happening in their life. They're in stagnation. So maybe that helps with the healing process for you. But there is something to heal from this if you're willing to be honest with yourself and be like, yeah, they have been a passing thought. Maybe I have decided to check up on them once in a while to see if things have gone downhill for them. And it is behind closed doors, all right? But acknowledge that they're coming up and unpack why they are still coming up in your headspace, right? Rather than feeling shame for it or trying to deny it and block it off, unpack it. It's like, well, why are they still a relevant thought in my head here? Because I do feel as if they have played a part in you not being able to honor your creative ideas and going out there more into the unknown. I feel like you, especially with this Queen of Cups and Moon energy, there's this symbology of the next steps going forward that could really propel you and your passions in your career, whatever it is your desires here, requires for you to get out of your comfort zone and rely on your own thoughts and ideas on it. But I feel like there's this initial resistance because there's this initial doubt about something with you creatively or what have you here. So there's like a blockage that was created due to that person, is how I feel this energy is reading off as. But that's how I feel this is. I don't feel like there's anything else to really say about this. Hopefully this gave someone some guidance, darling. This, I guess, needed to reach somebody. So let me know how this resonated down below, and be sure to check out your zodiac reading. I do them weekly. So love you so much, darling. Bye.